Hi, my name is Ren, and today I'll be demonstrating some vestibular equipment that we can use with our kiddos in a pediatric setting. So before we start the demonstration, I want to go over the precautions of using vestibular equipment. For safety requirements, whenever we use swings and other vestibular equipment, it's advised to always have mats around the working perimeter of the swing. Another thing is we want to make sure our kid is not wearing his socks or shoes unless they're tactilely defensive. The therapist must always stay within the arm's reach of the kiddo whenever they're on the swing or getting on and off, and the swing should always be removed or lowered all the way down whenever we're not using it, just to avoid anyone getting on it unattended. So for our general precautions of using vestibular equipment, if we don't know our child's threshold, it's always best to start our activities very slow and gently. You want to monitor for any signs of distress, any signs of behavioral change. Signs of distress could include hiccups, facial flushing, increased fluctuation, hiccups. When we do have these signs of distress, it's good to always incorporate a proprioceptive activity or a weighted device, just so we can calm our child down and help them regulate their emotions. So for working with kiddos with seizure disorders, we have some contraindications that we want to be mindful of. So if our kiddos' seizures are uncontrolled by medication and their seizures are also triggered by vestibular input and movement, we don't want to use any vestibular equipment at all. If the seizures are controlled by medication but are still triggered by vestibular movement, we want to be mindful of the movements that we do with the child, so we only want to use linear movements, forward, backward, side to side, no rotational movements. This goes the same for any kiddo with seizure disorders that have medication that controls the seizures and are not triggered by vestibular input. We want to be mindful of keeping our movements linear and avoiding rotational movements. Before we use any weighted equipment, it's important to know these precautions. So we don't want to use any weighted equipment for any child that's under 3 years old, but we can use swaddles or pressure vests, but we don't want to use it. We want to stay away from any weighted equipment. It could be dangerous for younger toddlers and infants. So if the child is over 3 years old, we want to use a weighted vest or a weighted blanket that's 5 to 10% of their body weight. For any teens or adults, we want weighted equipment that's 10 to 20% of their body weight. The weighted equipment should be used 20 minutes on, 20 minutes off for no more than 3 repetitions and within 1 hour break in between. So we don't want to keep it on while we're sleeping as well, or while the child is sleeping. This can cause habituation. Before using any vestibular equipment, we want to just add our safety rope. This is also what we're going to attach our vestibular equipment on. Up here, we have our deadbolt. So we're going to use our safety snaps or carabiners to attach our rope and our swings onto the deadbolt. So you want our carabiners to be facing up with the open part facing up. And this carabiner has a rotational device on for any rotational movements. Hang that on. Check for any wear and tear on all parts of the carabiner and the bolts. Now, this carabiner is going to be facing up as well, and we're going to attach that to the rotational device. And right here at the bottom, at the top of the rope, we have the height adjuster. So this height adjuster should be right above eye level when you're standing on the floor before you attach the swing onto it. So for our first demonstration, I'm going to show you the platform swing. When you're picking up the platform swing or any other case, like the bolster swing, these are heavy swings, you want to make sure we're applying proper body mechanic guidelines. So we're going to squat down, keep the platform of the swing in between our arms, and then grab the carabiner where we're going to attach onto the rope with your hand. Okay, and we're going to squat up. So we're going to use our legs to lift when we do that motion. That's going to be straight, and you want to support the heavy swings at the bottom prior to mounting. Okay, we're going to mount that onto the height adjuster and mount that as low as we can. The base of our swing should always be at shin level of our client. So for me, I'll pretend to be the client. Mid-shin level is about here. Just want to raise it up a little more. Now that your swing is securely attached, you want to double check the wear and tear on this carabiner. This is going to be your safety rope. As a therapist, you always want to be an arm's length away from the swing. And for this one specifically, you want to hold on to one of these ropes to prevent any or control any rotation. As we mentioned in the precautions, if our kiddo does have any seizure disorders, you want to be mindful of linear movements. The platform swing is good for dynamic movements, proprioceptive input, because you can rotate, you can move linearly. To get on the swing, the therapist would hold on to this, the kiddo would crawl onto it. And this is good for a lot of tummy time. So we're working a lot of neck extension, back extension. We can apply some reaching activities, a lot of visual motor input. We can reach something here, throw something on the other side, crossing in the midline. We can do some wheelbarrow type exercises where we're working our shoulder girdle. So there's a lot you can do with the platform swing. To get off, you crawl off and you should be set with your creative activity. So the next swing that I'm going to demonstrate is going to be the Superman or moon swing. It's going to be the color of Superman, and when you pick it up, it's not that heavy, it's a little soft. Again, when we attach any swings, we want to bring it to eye level, make sure that's secure. Address any wear and tear on the carabiners, make sure the carabiners are facing up. The deadbolt wear and tear looks good. We have another carabiner on the swing. Attach that to the height adjuster. Pull the lever up. And then again, as for any swing, we want it to be mid-shin of the client. So I can pretend to be the client, it's mid-shin. Now, with this swing, it's a really great tool to practice upper and lower extremity strength. We're working a lot of our inner thighs to be able to grip onto the swing. So we would push the lower end behind our kiddo and between their legs, hold on for a good grip, and then cross our legs before we let go. So a lot of our weight is going to be on our arms and our inner thighs. When we swing, we'll let go, and to safely, we'll plant our feet onto the ground. Now, what we just saw is we saw a lot of vestibular input. You can incorporate activities with high-end coordination, throwing activities, you can do reaching activities. And because we're using our entire body with the swing, you can address self-awareness, self-regulation, to assure that we do have our grip and we're completing the task properly and as safe as possible. There's also a lot of stability involved, a lot of core strength involved, and we want to use this for clients who are only ages 3 and up. All right, now when we're done with any suspended equipment, we want to remove our swing and as well as remove our rope. Okay, we would never want to leave our rope or swings attached unsupervised. And that's for the safety of our clients. And then when we're done, always remember to sanitize and wipe down. So the next vestibular equipment that I'm going to demonstrate is called the prone scooter board. The prone scooter board is facing upside down, the caster wheel is facing up. So this is good for storage purposes and the safety of our clients. Or it can be facing against the wall with the caster wheels out. When we're ready to use it with our client, always attend to it while the wheels are on the lower side. We're going to have 3 points of contact. Since it doesn't have any brakes, we're going to utilize our body as the brakes. So we're going to be in a half kneel position. First point of contact is behind our ankle, right over here. The second point of contact is on the front side of the scooter board. So the front is going to be the round edge. And the third point of contact is going to be our kiddo. Okay, that's going to be our starting position. To get the child on, they're going to crawl on with the arms extended to the sides, legs extended behind them. We want our arms only to the sides and not in the front so it doesn't get caught under. Hair tied back for their safety as well. And they will mobilize by pushing their arms out. They can participate in any reaching activities, picking stuff up from the floor, avoiding any obstacles, or we can also utilize a scooter board ramp for more vestibular and proprioceptive input. So we're doing a lot of upper arm extremity movement, lower extremity strength, dissociation of all extremities. We're doing a lot of neck and back extension. meanwhile incorporating a lot of bilateral coordination and crossing the midline when participating in activities. So a positioning device that we can use would be a balance disc. We can use this for kiddos either standing or in a sitting position. As the name says, it's a balance disc, so it helps with balance, core stability, postural stability. If you look at both sides, it has a kind of less bumps on this side. It has deeper bumps on this side depending on the type of tactile input or pressure that the child requires. So if they're hyposensitive, maybe you want to use this side with the higher bumps. The way you use this is you can place it on a chair or on a child's desk. So the more tactile input, it'll produce more dopamine for the child, and in effect, more attention and focus while doing quiet play, if they're doing homework or if they're sitting in class. To promote any postural balance while standing up, you can place it on the floor and have the child kind of just play with it. So we have some bimanual coordination to promote balance and maintaining on the balance disc. We also have lower extremity strength. We have weighted equipment. So this is a weighted vest. We have the weights here in the back. This is about a 5-pound vest, so this is perfect for maybe a 25 to 50-pound child. So we can use a regular weighted vest, but if the child does need a lot more tactile input or pressure, we can also recommend maybe a weighted compression vest. So to put this on, it would just be like putting on a regular vest on a kiddo as so. Also, when we're using it, we want to keep in mind the guidelines that we discussed earlier. And this is good for maybe quiet play if the child needs to focus on homework. It promotes calmness and focus. We can also use it during activities where the child can focus on the activity and tasks within the activity to promote engagement. So for Nova's intervention, we're going to do a sensory circuit. This is going to be an obstacle course. Nova's gonna pretend to knock over a building right over here. She's gonna get on the wrecking ball, knock over this building. Right there, we're gonna have a lot of proprioceptive input. That's going to be the first part of our session. Then once she's gonna get off, as safe as possible, because we wanna be able to address impulsivity and safety. That's the main idea of this. Meanwhile, integrating her high sensory input. So Nova is sensory seeking. She needs a high sensory environment. She's always looking to explore. She's very big on explorative play. So we have a lot of stations set up here. We want to regulate her emotions. So for sensory and emotional regulation, we're going to have her stand on the balance disc. The rough edges and the pokes will help her focus and have her more attention. After that, she's going to go ahead and safely crawl and kneel over to the scooter board. I'm going to start to make sure that this is safe as possible before going on it, and then she will decide when she can start and move forward to pick up the building blocks that we have over here, making sure that we're avoiding dangerous objects. So these are our safety hazards. We're going to go across, and we have some more safety hazards. We fix the city, we build the building again, and then that is our safe zone. That's where she can be impulsive and crash after when she's done completing the course as safe as possible. Hi Nova, how are you?
Good.
My name is Ren, and we're gonna go through an obstacle course today. Are you ready for that?
Yeah.
Watch me. And we're gonna try to make it to the safe zone. And you're done. Now you try. All right, Nova, you ready?
Yeah.
Set. Safely. Ready? Go. Stand on top safely.
I want more. Nova the builder can build the building blocks.
All right, let's go find the building blocks. You ready?
Yeah!
Go! You got it, you got it!
Is this good, mister?
You got it, you built the city! To the safe zone! Alright, let's go out. Awesome work, Nova! I liked how you were able to get off the swing and onto the scooter board safely while avoiding all the obstacles. Okay, just remember we have to use our indoor voice as we mentioned before. Remember that?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's try it one more time. Nova, let's put on your favorite vest. Okay?
Okay.
Stick your arm out, put your arm in. How do you like that?
Good.
It looks cool. You really look like a builder now. All right, let's try that. Let's try this one more time. We're going through the city obstacle course. Can you do it?
Yeah.
It's your turn.
Nova the builder can build a building block.
Let's go. Let's find building blocks. Okay. Ready to build a building?
Yeah.
Let's go. Great job. There we go. All right, Nova, let's get up. You got it.
Yay!
Nova, you used your indoor voice. You did a great job at keeping your indoor voice down, okay? And you were able to finish from beginning to end. How do you feel?
Good.
So now that she's gone through all the obstacles, she's done all the tasks, we might need to use a weighted vest to address any more input that she needs, because she's sensory seeking. We're addressing a lot of vestibular input through the swings, through the scooter, through crashing into the crash pad. We're maximizing a lot of sensory integration to help modulate her emotions and the yelling, and safety and her impulsivity.